Blake Lively's hate train online has not slowed down at all, but now is for the untimely release of her next movie. It's called Another Simple Favor, a sequel to 2018's A Simple Favor.
Think about her all.
Sorry.
She stars in it with Anna Kendrick, and she plays a supervillain PR executive, which is a role she was clearly born for.
Ironic.
Yeah, awfully ironic given the scandal and lawsuit that she is embroiled in at the moment. And honestly, I think that if anything, her lawsuit and the controversy and the negative interest around her at the moment can only do another simple favor, a simple favor, which is bringing people in to hate watch it, including myself. Like, I would probably be more curious to see it just to analyze how she acts.
All of this stuff would be bad for a big budget movie. It's fantastic for a movie like this.
It's a streaming movie for Amazon, and they just put out the first trailer for it, so let's take a look.
All right, here we go.
I think about her all the time. The faceless blonde I thought I knew. Was she a glamorous PR executive? Or a cold-blooded killer? Holy shit. Did you break out of prison? Will you be my maid of honor? Why am I here?
You think I invited you to get revenge for stealing my life and taking my kid away from me? You think I want to make you pay?
I don't know, do you?
Maybe she really did change in prison?
If I do try to murder you, it'll make an amazing sequel.
The Ghostbusters 2016 director. Fantastic.
Yeah, first impressions.
Her hair, she always looks like she just put a fork in a light socket.
Yeah, well, that's obviously her look, and that's how she sells so many hair care products.
Yeah.
It's her iconic look at this point. I just see this as like perfect movie for a female audience.
I think they should have focused more on her and less on Anna Kendrick. And that's not just because I always dunk on Anna Kendrick as having negative aura, for lack of a better term. That's
more evil Blake, less not evil Anna.
Yeah, like if they would have made the trailer, because it kind of started with her and then they brought in Blake.
Right.
They should have started it from the beginning with Blake, and it should have focused around her.
Yeah, I have not watched the first one, but from what I've read so far, it's basically a murder mystery black comedy film, and Blake Lively's character, Emily Nelson, is this evil PR executive who fakes her own death.
They should have brought in Ryan Johnson to direct this.
It's bad timing for this movie to come out, but there are theories going around that Blake Lively actually worked to delay the release of this film and strategically release it at a time when she could punish Anna Kendrick for not getting along with her on set. And actually, someone who interviewed both of them for the release of the original wrote an opinion piece saying that sources claim, despite painting the image of being best pals, behind the scenes, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick clashed over Blake's legal woes, casting a shadow over the film. So less people are going to be paying attention to the film for its own sake. Yeah. They're just watching it out of fascination for wanting to see Blake Lively being evil.
Yeah, and look, it's always, those stories always come across fake to me whenever they try to they were all best friends on set.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I mean, maybe that's true some of the time.
I mean, she outright admitted that she would pick people to bully on the Gossip Girl set, and she would get people together to gang up on someone and turn against someone. Like, straight up middle school, high school mean girl shit. And people did remember that on the press tour for the first Simple Favor movie, there were just a lot of awkward interactions between Blake and Anna Kendrick. And also, Blake Lively would get mad at interviewers for asking Anna Kendrick more questions. Like, she wasn't getting enough attention on the press run, even though it was a duo, not just her movie.
I suppose it's kind of befitting that if you're Ryan Reynolds, you can marry any woman that's high maintenance because you got all the money in the world. But marrying someone that's psychologically and emotionally high maintenance is the real test.
Yeah.
Where, you know, she's
You can
like,
never be good enough.
She's like, I asked you 6 questions about your day at dinner, and you only asked me 5.
It's sort of like the story about how every day when Johnny Depp would get home while married to Amber Heard, she would insist on taking his boots off at the end of the day for him. She would get very mad if he did it himself, and then giving him a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And there was no negotiating outside of this arrangement because she needed to feel like she was the one who was serving him, even if he didn't want that.
He's like, bro, I can get
It was
my
like this
own wine.
weird form of emotional tyranny.
He's like, I've been taking my boots off myself for years. I can do it.
He's a big boy.
Now my watch.
No. Yeah.
I do want to point out, guys, that as of right now, this movie has 5,000 upvotes to 7,800 downvotes. What's funny is the upvotes jumped since we started the show. It was at 4,800, so it's jumped up by 200 likes.
Okay.
But it's still technically a ratio, and because Amazon is stupid, they turned the comments off. Why? Why would you do that? The whole point of the comments section is to get people talking about your movie.
Yeah.
Like, this is like you have somebody who's illiterate working for you.
Well, I assume that they turned off comments either because they don't understand social media yet, and we're going to have to wait a long time for them to understand that this is a Streisand effect. Or, more likely, Blake Lively, being the tyrant she is, mandated that they turn off the comments.
But the thing is,
Because she's the star and she makes demands like
But
that.
what's crazy about that is she's also crazy. I feel like she's smart enough to know that she can lean into being the villain.
She's not smart enough to know that hate train against her on social media is organic and people actually don't like her.
Like,
she
she
had
should
to
be
come up with a narrative that it was coordinated and paid for.
She should be leaning into this. She should be like, look, I'll be the bad guy.
It's bizarre. That would be, I mean, I don't personally, I would love that.
Logan Paul does
But
that. Like, people can hate on
some
Logan
people just
Paul
can't
all they
handle
want.
it.
Logan Paul, the Paul brothers are okay with being the villains. It's why they're good at their jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Some people are really good at playing on that, but Blake Lively is clearly the type of narcissist that simply cannot accept not being worshipped.
Who's an example of a
So-
woman that can, like, that leans into being the bad guy? Can you think of one? Off the top
Maybe
of your head?
there aren't examples that lean into being the bad guy, but there are plenty of female satirists, and this is something that we were just talking about off air. Like, women are really good at making viral social media satire videos.
Very good.
So they're really good at leaning into being misinterpreted. And I think one example is like Paris Hilton. She completely constructed a fake persona of being this like ditzy, dumb, blonde bimbo for years. And people totally bought into it. And it was fake the entire time. And she's actually really smart and erudite and a businesswoman. But she had no qualms with allowing people to believe that she's retarded. Like, she had no qualms with coming up with this fake persona all these years. And still some people believe that about her. So I feel like maybe Blake Lively is just not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
Like, she just doesn't have what it takes to be in the public eye if people don't outright worship her 24/7.
Yeah.
There was also this rumor that on the first movie, A Simple Favor, she somehow snaked her way into promoting Ryan Reynolds' brand of gin in the movie, giving it a product placement by lying and saying that it was just a friend of hers had this brand instead of Ryan Reynolds. She's
like,
that,
well, we're friends.
Yeah, this was about his gin brand Aviation. Found its way into 2018's A Simple Favor. Paul Feig told Cosmopolitan at the time, I was trying to clear another gin, and Blake's like, hey, Ryan's got this gin that he really likes. She really liked the company and everybody involved. And then I wouldn't have done it if I didn't like the look of it on screen, but I thought the bottle looked fantastic. Honestly, didn't even realize the level of involvement that Ryan Reynolds had in it, but I think it's great.
Here's the thing though, that's a little lie that says a lot.
Yeah, so she didn't want the director to know that her and her husband were directly profiting off of
That's a
the
little
gin.
lie with huge implications.
Yeah, it was sort of like the way she tried to promote her own alcohol brand through the press for It Ends With Us.
Yep.
Using it for her hair care line as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of shameless self-promo where she doesn't really understand what she's doing.
The thing is, it's also a bad lie to tell for the studio, because the studio's like, look, if we go with this, we can do more than just giving it a spot in the movie. We could do a promo ad. We could do Instagram ads. We could do things on YouTube where you guys do like fake commercials advertising the movie with the brand. Like there's ways that marketing would be able to work that in there that would benefit the studio as well, but they weren't given that opportunity. She was just allowed to be like, oh no, just do this. And
it's like,
again,
oh yeah, Ryan really likes this Mint Mobile cell service. He really likes this brand Mint Mobile.
it's like Tim's like,
Love those people.
we were like gonna drink coffee on the show, and Tim's like, I love this Timcast coffee. I love this Cast Brew coffee.
This Cast Brew thing, I know a guy who like made this Cast Brew thing, and like it's great coffee.
Have you seen this Ian's Graphene Dream? Everybody loves it.
Yeah, I've been hearing about it. Word on the street is that Ian's Graphene Dream is great. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of self-promo we're talking about here. Aside from anything about her new movie possibly being tanked, Blake Lively reportedly just hired a former CIA agent on her legal team. I'm not kidding. And whenever they say they're a former CIA, just don't trust them, because they're not obligated to tell you when they've actually resigned.
I mean, Deputy Chief of Staff.
She hired him as a crisis PR manager with deep government ties.
I mean, I don't know if this guy,
former Deputy Chief of Staff for the CIA, Nick Shapiro.
I don't know if this guy was an analyst or if he was if he worked in the field, but the point is he has ties to the intelligence community.
Member of Blake's legal team told Variety the litigation team for Lively retained Mr. Shapiro to advise on the legal communications strategy for the ongoing sexual harassment and retaliation lawsuit occurring in SDNY, which we already know is deeply corrupt. But very weird. Weird choice. Like, if you're trying not to seem evil and calculated. Weird to kind of make a connection with friends in high places like that.
Well, you know, there's a lot of, like, I guarantee you Ryan Reynolds has a lot of connections from all of the movies he's made, like Safe House and everything like that. He's built up his connections over
Government connections?
Yes, absolutely, because they have advisors on the set of these films that can give them phone numbers to other people. Absolutely.
Yeah.
110%.
It's true.
Yep. Yeah.
I think, if anything, the controversy about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni will do great numbers for this streaming movie that otherwise no one would have paid attention to.
I think that
so they have her to thank for
I think the pocket that this movie found itself in, being a streaming release, is all of this PR does great things for it.
And I also wish that we lived in an era where movies like this could go to theaters, but if it did, it probably wouldn't make its money back.
Well, no. I mean, you have to take the Sydney Sweeney or the Glenn Powell approach and really, really
just
push
commit
for
to the
it
bit
and commit to it and be willing to take the. Remember, when they were making Anyone But You, they were offered way more money to release it on streaming, and they took a pay cut to have it produced to be made for the theaters. And it ended up benefiting them greatly, but there's every opportunity, or there's every reality that could have been the complete opposite. It could have flopped hard, and then nothing would have come from it. But it's very, very hard to get movies like that. People say they want new stuff. They're lying most of the time.
Yeah.
Everyone says we want something new. We're sick of remakes. We're sick of reboots. Well, the fact of the matter is the stuff that does well at the box office tends to be recycled slop.
It Ends With Us could have easily ended up being a streaming forgettable moment, and it was a huge cultural touchstone. So.
Because it went to the theaters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.